All right. People are already in here. What's going on, you guys? Dilly time. If you're excited for the Kenny Dillingham era, drop a dilly in the chat while I get everything squared away, shared on all the social medias, and we can go ahead and start talking. I am so excited for this. This is going to be such a great step forward for the program. And then we will add a little picture. I'm sharing everything on social media. That's why I'm kind of talking to myself. Some levels. Dilly, ladies and germs. Share that. All right. Super duper. Good to see you, as always. One of my usual suspects. Victory, Dr. Peppy. So, man, where do we even start? So, when I was in the booth on Friday for the U of A game, I got to sit next to basically everybody that's anybody in the Arizona State social media crew. So Michelle Gardner, Brad Denny, Cole Topham, the guys over at PHNX, Sun Devils, uh, what's the SB Nation guys were there. We're all just yes, can't go wrong with Dr. Pepper. Absolutely, we were all there, and I got to sit next to Brad, and we were basically talking. And we've been talking for a little while about Kenny Dillingham coming home, and the way he was talking about it, I had to ask him. I was like, "Hey, is this like pretty much like a slam dunk guaranteed?" And he was like, "Yeah, no, it's happening." And this was Friday, so Saturday we basically get the confirmation. I didn't want to put anything out there because I wasn't 100% sure if that was like okay for me to do since it wasn't my source. So that's the reason why I didn't report it. I just wanted to make sure, and ended up going through. I had taken a nap on the couch during the Oregon State game, not on purpose. I was just completely exhausted. And when I woke up, the news was there that Dillingham was here, and I was like, "Yeah, I got to talk about this tomorrow. I don't want to wait till Monday, especially because Monday's episode we gotta talk the ASU U of A game, get that squared away." But man, there's a lot to talk about here with Kenny Dillingham. I'm incredibly excited. Incredibly excited. Dilly indeed, Zachary. Dilly indeed, correcting Seth. Dilly. This is a huge deal for Arizona State Sun Devils football. You could not have made a better hire. Now, with that being said, obviously, people who have listened to the podcast know that Matt Rule was still my number one guy. I will tell you that making Matt Rule the head coach wouldn't have been as good a hire as hiring Dillingham, regardless of the fact that Dillingham is the guy. The reason why is because with Kenny, he's a young, fresh guy. You have so many ties to the program with him. Being an alumnus, graduated in 2012 from the team, actually was an offensive assistant under Todd Graham and Mike Norvell, and then left with Norvell to go to Memphis. He was the offensive coordinator at Memphis, then Auburn, then Florida State, then Oregon. He's been an offensive coordinator for the last 5 years now. This is a very smart guy. But the biggest reason why I would tell you this is a better hire than Matt Rule, the last time Matt Rule was coaching, he got fired. The last time Dillingham was coaching, he was a hot up and comer for a head coaching gig. So with hiring Matt Rule, it wouldn't have been as good a hire, even though for me it was higher on my list because he was coming off being fired. Whereas with Dillingham, he's got a fresh slate. This is the first time ever that he's going to be the head coach of anything. He wasn't a head coach in high school. He wasn't a head coach in college or the pros. This is his first opportunity to be a head coach. That's what makes this hire better than Matt Rule. So I'll kind of leave it at that as my initial thoughts here. The hiring means more than Matt, to be honest, and that's why it's huge for the program. It does mean more. It means a lot more. There's a lot of actual like feelings that are involved here. Matt Rule didn't have anything to do with the program. It's not like Matt Rule was an ASU alum. It's not like he had previously coached with the team. It just would have been a great hire. But with Dillingham, this is bringing back a guy who knows the program. Is a Valley kid. And like I thought it was really funny. I guess during the press conference, I did not make it because I live in Surprise, and they got announced this morning, and I was like, "There's just no way I'm going to be able to make it down there." But in the conference, he had mentioned for all the Arizona natives out here, you guys will love this. He said that he was really excited to get some Ajo Al's salsa again, and Ajo Al's might be my favorite Mexican restaurant out here. It's that or Popo's. And when I saw that comment, I was like, yeah, that's a true Valley kid. Like he knows what's up. Zachary, I can't wait to see if he can flip some kids and he's gonna attack the crap out of the portal. I'm electric. Yeah, that was one of the things he came out during the press conference and said was that they're going to attack the transfer portal. And I'm so interested. In fact, I'm gonna pull it up right now while we're up. I want to see what's out there in the transfer portal like right now. Let's see. NCAA transfer portal. Because there's all sorts of different positions that you can go after here. Let's see. I want to sort by the top. That I want 2023. 2023. There we go. So tons of 3-star guys right now. Here's a great start. Adrian Jackson is a linebacker with immediate eligibility transferring from Oregon. That should be an easy connection. I'm not writing that in stone at all, but I will tell you that getting guys from Oregon is going to be like a very, very great possibility for you. What else are you guys saying? I saw a wide receiver from Missouri, Jeff Sims, defensive guys from A&M. Yeah, A&M lost another linebacker today, another 4-star guy from that like killer draft, or not draft class, recruiting class. Kenny is Dr. Pepper and Rule is Coke. I'm good with that. I do love Dr. Pepper and Coke, but obviously Dr. Peppy is my love. If they ever wanted to sponsor me, oh man, I would just I'd be so fat. I already drink so much Dr. Pepper. If I got sponsored, that's like the last thing I need. Delicious. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of guys out there, but that's funny. The very first guy I see in the transfer portal, Adrian Jackson, the linebacker from Oregon. That's an easy connection. And ASU is going to need linebackers. Merlin Robinson and Kyle Soley are gone. You will have Joncum will be back next year. Probably unless he transfers. He didn't get on the field much. Will Schaefer, I believe, still has eligibility. Connor Soley will be there, but you'll definitely need some bodies. Adrian Jackson is one of the guys I'll be going after. Let's take a look, guys. Let's just look at the names here. So you've got Hank, is that Bachmeyer? He's a quarterback from Boise. He's immediate with 2 years eligibility. Let's see. Emeka Megwa, I believe is how you say that. He's a running back from Washington with immediate. Tanner Salisbury is a linebacker from UNLV. I feel like we played against him. I feel like I remember playing against Salisbury. Deshaun Brown, he's a wide receiver. Craig Burt is a wide receiver. Those guys from Appalachian and from Western Kentucky, respectively. Let's just kind of take a look. There's all sorts of guys. You only have 12 guys listed in this portal, at least according to like, I just have it sorted by the top. What if we just go latest? There we go. Latest is going to be better. Yeah, there's 4 stars in here. That makes a lot more sense. I don't know why it was doing that. So let's see. So that Mizzou receiver you were talking about, Dominic Lovett, is going to be in there. He's a 4-star wide receiver, immediate eligibility. Let's take a look at him. Dominic Lovett, 5'10", 175. What year is he? Does it tell me? No, that's funny that they actually have a pro comparison. They compared him to Randall Cobb. That's funny. This is obviously old because this is Dallas Cowboys Randall Cobb. Jeff Sims was the quarterback you guys mentioned. That's another thing that we got to talk about. Oh, before I get there, real quick, I want to see what Seth said. Do you think the heat is off Ray and Crow after this hire? I don't know. I think that this is the move that Ray Anderson had to make. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Now, thankfully for him, this was definitely the right move to make. Let's see some ASU. Let's turn that hat around. This was the right move to make. And that's probably going to save him. I did see, I don't know if you guys saw, so the Arizona State clock, the Twitter account where it was counting down the days since U of A's last win has now changed to how many days are left on Ray Anderson's current contract. And it's like 1,200 days or something like that. So now, instead of counting down how many days it's been since U of A won, we're going to be counting down how many days until Ray Anderson is no longer under contract and we can get rid of him. I'm going to look up the Arizona State clock for you guys. Let's see. Arizona State clock. Can I drop it? I can. So if you guys are interested, that's the account that you guys can go to. You have 1,172 days remaining for this clock. February 11th, 2026 is the golden day if he does not get fired before then. Hey there, Dennis. What's going on, bud? I don't think Ray had anything to do with the hire. He obviously has to have some say as the athletic director, but I think that this definitely is more of like a PR thing for him than anything. I'm sure he would have preferred to have gotten somebody a little more proven, but knowing that, his time is very much coming to an end at Arizona State. I feel like this had to be the move. If it wasn't, who knows? Super Duper, do you know if the defensive back Jordan Clark will be back for next year? He did put on Twitter today that he is looking forward to next year. So my assumption is that he's going to be back. He had tweeted out, let's see, 7 hours ago. He said, "I'm fired up. Let's work, man." Which to me sounds like I'm excited about this hire. Let's go ahead and do it. As far as I'm concerned, that basically tells me he's coming back for his final year. He will be a redshirt senior. So that's really, really good news for ASU is they'll be getting their best defensive back. Is Chris Edmonds still got eligibility? Because that'll also be another important one. He does. We still have another year of Chris Edmonds. Hopefully he'll be back as well. He was a really good ball hawk for you this year. He paced the team in interceptions. I'm excited about him and how he will play because he played amazing this season. Yeah, Jordan Clark's a stud. Jordan Clark is very, very exciting. Back to the transfer portal we were looking at. So Jeff Sims here was one of the guys you guys pointed out, Georgia Tech quarterback. I want to take a look at him. The reason why he's interesting to me is if he is a dual threat quarterback, that's something that and he is indeed a dual threat quarterback. That is something that Dillingham is going to love. Kenny Dillingham has made a living off of working with mobile quarterbacks. Like, look at what he did with Bo Nix this year. He takes Bo Nix and turns him from a okay college quarterback to a legitimate Heisman favorite this year. Bo Nix is not going to win it, but I would be shocked if he didn't finish top 5 in voting this year. The dude was just dominant. He has 41 touchdowns, 14 rushing, 27 passing. It's just definitively his best season of his entire career. Not even close. And who's the Florida State kid? Oh man, that's gonna kill me. I'm going to be really mad when I see his name too. Because he was able to get him Jordan Travis. Jordan Travis also was very, very good under what's his name? We're talking about him right now. Kenny Dillingham. He was able to really start to hone in and become a good quarterback. Last year, he had thrown for 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and then rushed for 530 yards. And then this year, he takes off and really just took his game to the next level. So a lot of that is because of the trajectory that you had with Kenny Dillingham working with him. Those reps and advice from his dad will show next year because he has the talent. Talking about Jordan Clark. Yes, absolutely. So Jeff Sims would be a really interesting get for the program. So this year he completed 58.8 or 58.5% of his passes for 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 picks. He did rush for 302 yards and a touchdown. The Yellow Jackets were 5-7 this year, and they had all sorts of guys play quarterback this year. But Jeff Sims, how many games did he play before deciding to hop in the portal? So he hopped in the portal back in October, and definitively their best quarterback because Gibson, Pyron, and holy cow, that's a mouthful. Fom Mackham, I think is how you say his name. We're all really bad quarterbacks for Georgia Tech. So Jeff Sims would be towards the top of my list there. Let's take a look at some other guys. Who do you want for offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator? Lots of smoke for Tony White as defensive coordinator. I'm really open for the coordinating positions. They did say for sure Sean Aguano's coming back. Did not mention what form he's going to be coming back as. So I don't know if he's back as like the running backs coach, as a positional guy. I don't know if he's the offensive coordinator. I don't know if they're going to have him as like some kind of like assistant head coach kind of thing. We don't know to what degree Sean Aguano's coming back, but he will be back. And the offensive coordinator spot should be within grasp for him because Arizona State's offense was just so much better when he took over the reins for the team. Sure, they were still frustrating at times, but he's a guy I would trust to be the offensive coordinator for you. I'm also curious how much you're going to need an offensive coordinator because I wonder how much Kenny Dillingham is going to want to continue calling the plays for himself. You're probably going to be cleaning house on a lot of the staff, though. I would be surprised if Donnie Henderson is back or Glenn Thomas, to be honest. Defensive coordinator is tough. I saw Jordan Simone, former Sun Devil, had mentioned he anticipates a lot of former Sun Devil players to come back to the program for different like coaching positions and stuff like that. One of the names he mentioned, now this isn't defense, but he did throw Taylor Kelly out there. Taylor Kelly would be very intriguing to be the offensive coordinator for this team, or at a very least, some kind of positional coach and having a lot of say in everything that goes on. Mike Bergovici was another name he threw out there. I'm sure there's all sorts of Sun Devils who have been coaching now. Jalen Strong said he is not interested at the time. Who knows? Maybe we can kind of change his mind. Who knows? Yeah, there's tons of different guys that you can fancy and take a look at to be your coordinators. It'll be really important to get a good defensive coordinator, though, because I trust Dillingham to do whatever he wants to do with the offense, whether that is having a designated offensive coordinator or if it's just having a lot of assistant coaches and he's the one calling the plays. I would love Taylor Kelly, offensive coordinator, and Burko, quarterback coach. Sounds like a dream. Sounds like an absolute dream to me. But there's all sorts of different guys that they'll be able to take a look at to build the staff. I would anticipate this is going to end up being one of the younger staffs that the what are they called? That the Sun Devils are going to establish throughout the country. Because Dillingham is already now the youngest coach in college football. I believe by the start of next season, he'll be 33. I think he's 32 right now. Yeah, he'll be 33 on April 28th. So he's the youngest head coach in college football right now. As far as I know, he's the youngest head coach in Arizona State history, and that's a big deal. I would imagine that they're going to build a pretty young staff around him as well, which I would be very excited if it had a lot of former players with it as well. There's all sorts of really intriguing new things that we're going to be taking a look at here with this new coaching staff. I'm going to hop over to Jordan Simone real quick on his Twitter, see if he put out any more interesting stuff. I did see he's going to fight for one more year of eligibility. He said, quote, "I'm ready to run through a brick wall for Coach Dillingham." So Jordan Simone, I know he's as old as me, probably a little older. He's probably closer to his 30s now, but he can always come back if he wants to come back. I want to see that list that he put together, talking about some former. Well, this is also an interesting one here I want to take a look at. Some former Sun Devils he put out. Let's see. Aaron Fulgrad, Ricardo Stewart, and Vince Amy. So Aaron Fulgrad was a wide receiver for the team. He's currently, where are you at? NAU as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. So he would be a guy that you could take a look at. Ricardo Stewart, where are you? Ricardo Stewart, ASU, two C's. I want to know where you're at currently. He's with Nevada, and he is their secondary coach. So there's an option for you for defensive coordinator would be Ricardo Stewart if the team wanted to stay with some alumni. And then Vince Amy is currently the defensive line coach for the Los Angeles Wildcats. What is that? Oh, that's XFL. Okay. So uh he would also be a good guy to potentially make your defensive coordinator as well. So, and those guys are a little older. Vince Amy is 47. Ricardo Stewart, how old are you? Not sure. So there's some options there. Let's take a look. Lots of smoke for Tony White as defensive coordinator. I would love. So it was Iguano, the running backs coach again. Danny, I am not 100% sure. They did say that he's coming back. They just didn't specify what role he's going to be. I would think at a minimum, he's taking that role back. I'm curious if they would make him the offensive coordinator. I personally would be very much for him being like the assistant head coach and having quite a bit of say in what's going on with the program. But obviously, Dillingham has some big plans for him because he was very excited at the press conference to announce to everyone that Iguano was going to be coming back as well. It's another tweet from Jordan Simone that he put out. Coaches who I'd love to see join Kenny at ASU. Brennan Marion, the Texas wide receivers coach. Charlie Raggle, he says that'll be the first hire. I'm not familiar with Charlie Raggle, but that makes me feel like I should be. So Charlie Raggle is the current head coach at Idaho State, and I don't. He was a graduate assistant for Arizona State in 2006. Other than that, that's the extent of his actual experience with Arizona State. But interesting that Simone notes that that would be his first hire. Sean Aguano, obviously. Jason Monsaguaro. Let's take a look. Jason Monsaguaro. I feel like I didn't spell it right. Yep, there's an H in there. That's why. Jason Monsaguano or Saguaro. Oh, I'm stupid. He coaches at Saguaro. Jason Mons coaches at Saguaro. Now I'm figuring that out. Okay. That would be an interesting one. His big claim. So he's been very successful, 86 and 10 during his time with Saguaro. And everyone who lives in Arizona knows that Saguaro is a very good football program. I want to know what your call to fame is. Arizona State University grad 2004 in kinesiology. Smart guy. Ricardo Stewart, Vince Amy, Mike Bercovici, and Aaron Fulgrad were the other guys he mentioned that we took a look at as well. So lots of options. Like I said, I anticipate this is probably going to be a pretty young coaching staff for Arizona State. I don't see a reason why you wouldn't want to have a big like culture change for like youth in your locker room. So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I want to take a look. I know this is really off topic, but I just saw on Twitter that Josh Jacobs set the scrimmage yards record for the Raiders 229 rushing yards and 74 receiving yards. Dude had 300 scrimmage yards today. Goodness gracious. Have a friggin' day, Josh Jacobs. And they beat the Seahawks. So for you Arizona Cardinal fans, you got to see the Seahawks lose today. I'm sure that's got to feel good. Man, he's made himself some serious money this year. Anyways, college football. I want to take a look. I want to look at the Sun Devils roster for 2023. I want to know right now who's going to be back. Interesting conversation. I was talking with Cole Topham. So you're going to have Israel Carter coming into the program. He's going to be a 3-star mobile quarterback coming somewhere in California, I believe. You will have several quarterbacks on the roster as well, which will include Emory Jones and Trenton Bourguet. What's the plan at quarterback? Because you're going to want to work with a mobile guy who's going to be able to use Dillingham's offensive schemes to the best of their capabilities. And between those three guys, I would feel most confident with them. Obviously, now that we're looking at the transfer portal, I'm going to be manifesting Jeff Sims into a Sun Devils uniform. That would be really, really awesome. But I'm curious what Paul Tyson wants to do. Because Paul Tyson is not a mobile quarterback. He's not somebody that runs around like at all. So I'm curious what his decision is going to be. He's definitely the odd man out right now. And for Emory, so back to what I was trying to say, but I go on tangents. Talking with Cole Topham from Devil's Digest, he brought up, I asked him, I said, hey, if you're Emory Jones, what do you do? He said, well, have you put anything out to want to declare for the draft? And I was like, no, definitely not. But is this I stay at this program? Or do I transfer to another school where I know there's not going to be a quarterback competition? And Cole had made the comparison, well, not comparison, but basically said, this is the guy you want to work with if you're Emory Jones. This is like the quarterback whisperer, the quarterback guru that you wanted to come to Arizona State. And he would be able to work with Emory very, very well and potentially get Emory back on track to being a quality quarterback. One of the things that Emory just didn't get to do this year was run the football. It felt like he was constantly held back by the play calling, or maybe it was just himself, and he just was not a good running quarterback this year because he truly wasn't. But it doesn't feel like that's who Emory Jones is. If you are back with Arizona State, you're not guaranteed the starting job, but you are placed in an offense that would be very difficult for you to not find success in. It's about as good a situation as Emory Jones is going to get, because off the top of my head, there are truly not a lot of great situations for Jones to go to Division One. I truly don't know of very many options. Like most teams are going to want to roll with younger guys than a veteran quarterback who has just not been good. Is what it is. So I'm curious if Emory will stay and fight for the starting spot or not. Because right now, to me, it's Trenton Bourguet's job to lose. But Bourguet also has not officially confirmed that he's coming back next year. He said at the end game press conference against U of A, where he was very glowing about the program, by the way. But they asked him if he was coming back, and he said, we'll wait and see. So that's another intriguing aspect here for me. What's going to happen with Trenton Bourguet? Is he going to stay or is he going to go? I don't know why you would go because, again, based off of the way you played this year, to me, it's your job to lose. You were definitively better across the board than Emory Jones, and you now got a serious upgrade at your head coaching spot. And this is going to be a very, very good situation for him to have career numbers. And this is his final hurrah, by the way. He will be a redshirt senior. So this is final year. I don't know why you would want to go anywhere else. To me, this is an easy decision to stay for Bourguet, but I don't know. I want to look at the rest of this roster. There's lots of quarterbacks, by the way. It's not just those main guys I named. Like Dalen McLemore is still here. Max Clark will be a redshirt freshman coming in. There was another guy, Finn Collins, a redshirt sophomore. So there's going to be Bennett Meredith as a redshirt freshman. There's a lot of quarterback competition here. Turn him into a Josh Allen copycat. Referring to Trenton Bourguet or Paul Tyson? Because if you could get Paul Tyson to be Josh Allen, that'd be huge. But Bourguet is just not even remotely close to being built like Josh Allen. I think Bourguet is smaller than I am. But, oh, man. There's going to be a lot of quarterback competition, which is a very, very good thing for a first-year head coach. To not be married and tied down to a guy. You've got options on the roster, and you've got guys to take a look at. One of the guys that got mentioned in here by Zachary, Ty Thompson, I want to take a look at him. I don't know anything about him. Ty Thompson, Oregon quarterback. That also feels like a very easy dot to connect. So he was a freshman, didn't get to hardly play this year. When he was on the field, he was just over 50% completion, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So he definitely would be looking for a new start. And if you want to talk about a Josh Allen copycat, that could be Ty Thompson, 6'4", 224 pounds. Is he in the portal for sure? Ty Thompson, I don't see him. Ty Thompson is not in the portal, but you could definitely try and get him to come out. Tell me more about Ty Thompson. What was he as a recruit? Not yet, winky face. Exactly. Ty Thompson's a former 4-star quarterback, Arizona kid. Played at Mesquite and Gilbert. He was the number 1 quarterback in Arizona. He was the number 7 quarterback in the nation and the 40th prospect in the nation. All right, yeah. Hey, Ty, wanna come home? You want to play for Kenny Dillingham? Yeah, I'm here for it. We're not married to anyone. Like, we are single and ready to mingle. I love what we have with Bourguet, but you can get an upgrade. And right now, it's a brand new coaching staff. Explore your options. You're not married to anyone. So it wouldn't break my heart if you stayed with Bourguet or if you rolled the dice on Emory. But yeah, why not shoot for the moon with Jeff Sims in the portal? See if you can get Ty Thompson to come back home and play with Kenny Dillingham. Maybe there's some other guys out there. Uh, I I feel like this would make a lot of people upset, but based off of what he just did with Bo Nix, if DJ Uyunglele were to transfer from Clemson, call me crazy, I would be all over DJ Uyunglele to come to Arizona State and play with Kenny Dillingham. So former 5-star, he is quality. He's not great. He's as good as Bo Nix, and Bo Nix just turned in a Heisman performance for his season. So, and I can't imagine that Clemson would like for Uyunglele to stay long term for the program at this point because they brought in, is it, I need to look the kid's name up. They brought in a 5-star quarterback to replace him at some point in the year. Klubnik, was that it? Yeah, Cade Klubnik ended up coming in this year and played solid for them. So they're not married to DJ Uyunglele. Just look, if we're gonna have fun here, I'm gonna have a lot of fun, and I'm gonna throw that out into the universe and just see what happens. I'd be here for it. Would Def make sure Badger and Conyer stays, bring in another wide receiver or two? Yeah, that's another big thing. Got to make sure you're keeping your guys, especially offensively. You had Badger go after the Phoenix Sun Devils Twitter account the other day for something he posted on Twitter or on his Instagram story and made it sound like he's coming back. Hopefully Conyers is back as well. Hopefully Geo Sanders is back. If you can keep those three, that would be huge. That's your number one and number two receiver and a number one tight end for your offense. Doesn't matter who's throwing the football. That's three proven guys who all just look so good. So valuable to your team. You got to make sure you hold on to those three. Can't lose them. Those are your top three receivers as well. But Brian Thompson will be gone. X Valadale will be gone. I'm curious what some of the other younger guys on the roster will do. Andre Johnson, is he going to stay? Is he going to transfer? Chad Johnson Jr., is he going to stay? Is he going to transfer? Chad Johnson Jr. is a redshirt junior heading into next year. And I give him all the props in the world for staying as long as he has. But I would truly not blame him if he wanted to move on because he just hasn't gotten the opportunity. So there's going to be a lot of interesting decisions left to be made. But if you hold on to Badger, Sanders, and Conyers, I would be incredibly confident about whatever quarterback is going to be brought into your system at that point. Chad Johnson Jr. tweeted something. Let's take a look. Chad Johnson Jr. He's definitely excited about Kenny Dillingham. That's a really good sign that he would be staying, is that he's excited for it. He put stay down till the come up. So maybe kind of implying that he's going to turn this thing around and prove everybody wrong. I'm here for it. So I don't want him to go. I want him to have opportunity. And if that opportunity exists somewhere else, then so be it. Like these things happen. But at the same time, I want him to stay. Still, what was he, like a 4-star recruit? So the potential's there. He's just got to get that opportunity. Oh man, looking at the rest here. Deontay Elliott, who wasn't on the roster for like the majority of the season, is back. I have no idea what happened with Deontay Elliott this year. I'm not going to lie. He literally, like, I never saw his name on any of the game day rosters. I don't remember if he got injured and I just totally missed it. He'll be there. Will be interesting about Daniel Ngata. He hasn't confirmed if he's coming back or not. Everyone who listens to the podcast knows I am very high on Daniel Ngata. I have said he is poor man's Eno Benjamin. I want him back. Let's see what else. Oh, and Tevin White. Tevin White is also going to be really, really, really important for this team. He was a 4-star running back. When he had opportunities this year, he looked pretty good. He had 14 carries for 67 yards. I think he had like 8 carries in the first game of the year against NAU. And then just with how good Valladay was, you weren't going to get away from him. But Tevin White is going to potentially be the feature back for you next year. So think about it like this, guys. If you retain the people you need to retain, whoever is at quarterback should have, in an ideal world, Tevin White in the backfield and Daniel Nagata in the backfield. Elijah Badger, Geo Sanders, and Jalen Conyers to throw the ball to. That alone is a terrific cast. Plus, you have wild cards. You have wild cards like Messiah Swinson, still has a year of eligibility. Who knows what happens with Andre Johnson? Hopefully, Chad Johnson Jr. will get an opportunity. Hopefully, Cam Johnson comes back. I really want Cam to get an opportunity. Everyone knows I blew him up heading into the year. I thought he was going to have a much bigger role than what he ended up getting. I am disappointed he didn't get more opportunity. I wouldn't blame him if he wanted to go somewhere else, but I hope he's back. I am definitely endorsing Cam Johnson once again because I still think he is a damn good receiver, and I want opportunity for him. I think in a worst case scenario, he can be Brian Thompson for you. And Brian Thompson was a terrific weapon throughout the majority of the year. What else you got coming in? I don't think there's much recruiting wise that's coming in. In fact, I think Israel Carter's your only like offensive recruit that's coming in. I think everyone else is on the defensive side of the ball. Let's see. George Hart will be a junior. He should be back. I don't know why he wouldn't be. Just looking at the roster, it's listed right now. Will be interesting. This totally random. Omar Norman Lott will be interesting to see what happens with him because it sounds like he's gone, but he hasn't officially said he's out. The offensive line is going to be interesting. I'm not excited about it. Isaiah Glass, everyone knows how I feel about him. Emmett Boley, Joey Ramos. Ramos will be healthy again. That'll be really good for you because he missed just about the whole year. Ben Scott could be back. He'd be a redshirt senior. I don't know why he wouldn't come back. Ladarius Henderson doesn't have eligibility, does he? No way. There's no way he does. It's got him listed. Dude, if Ladarius Henderson could be back, oh my God. That would be so big. The website has him listed as a graduate student for 2023. I'm looking at the right thing. Man, if he has another year of eligibility, that would be so big for you. Yeah, I'm not crazy, right? Yeah, this has him listed as a graduate player. That doesn't mean he's coming back. He could declare. But man, if he came back too, yeah, you just got to figure out what you're doing at quarterback at that point. Ty Thompson, Jeff Grimes, Trenton Bourget, Emory Jones. There's options. I want to take a look at the quarterbacks out there. In the transfer portal, I mean. I don't know what's up with this. This has like nobody listed in the portal. This is the weirdest thing. Because, yeah, it didn't list Jeff Sims when I clicked on the thing. So we're going to stay away from that, I guess. Yeah, Ty Thompson and Jeff Sims are going to be pipe dreams for you. But I'm still more than happy with Bourget staying. I can be talked into Emory as long as he has a strong camp. March can't get here fast enough at this point. Like now I need spring camp so I can get a taste of what we're going to take a look at here. Man, there's tons of good stuff in the transfer portal, though. Tons and tons of good stuff. And they mentioned they're going to go after it. I want to see ASU attack the JUCO kids again. We had a lot of success with JUCO kids. Jalen Strong, Brandon Ayuk, Rashad White. Tons of them. I want to see us get back to that because that used to be such an important part of ASU football over the last 10 years, especially during the Todd Graham era. So let's get some JUCO kids again. JUCO kids, transfer kids. We got to kickstart recruiting. Start recruiting in your backyard. There are kids in Arizona. Start recruiting Arizona kids. I don't know why Antonio Pierce was so dense and refused to recruit in the backyard. But there are kids here. Let's recruit these kids. Tons of options. Let's see. Trevion, I think is how you say it. Trevion Cooley, running back from Louisville, has immediate eligibility. There's some offensive linemen I would love for you to attack as well. This could be a very different looking team in 2022 or 2023. It could also be a very similar team. For what it's worth, Michael Matus is going to be back on the defensive line. Everyone has forgotten about him because he tore his ACL, and that's going to be a really nice plug and play for the team. Man, looking at what we got coming back, I like this team. Call me crazy. I like this team. I do. I like this team. Don't get me wrong, this isn't a national championship team, but there's no reason you can't get back to that 8-win margin that we talk about every year for ASU. No reason. There's lots of good players here. You should be able to bring in some talented names as well to add to this nucleus. I don't know why you can't turn the program around quickly. Again, I'm not saying you go and win the Pac-12 and get to the playoff or anything like that, but I don't know why you can't be an 8-win football team in 2023. This is not that bad of a roster, especially if everyone takes in the coaching quickly. Man, I'm excited about Ro Torrance next year too. He's really good. He's a really, really good corner. Redshirt junior. As long as he doesn't declare. I don't know why he would, but he could declare. But if he's back, that would be huge for you. We're going to find out a lot about this team in the next few weeks, though. Like, there's still a lot of time left to figure out what the team's going to look like next year. There's guys who are going to leave. There's guys who are going to declare for the draft. You're losing your seniors, obviously. But there's all sorts of intriguing options out here for the Sun Devils to fancy. Man, I am here for the speculation, though. I'll have to start harassing my buddy Spencer McLaughlin, host of Locked On Pac-12. He's an Oregon guy. So I'm gonna start getting on him and tell him that Ty Thompson's gonna be a Sun Devil and see what he thinks about that. I would be here for it. I'm curious because he should be in line to be their starter with Bo Nix gone, I would imagine. Their only other quarterback is Jay Butterfield. At least that had a attempt this year. But I also don't know what their recruiting looks like. Who knows? Get excited, guys. This is a new page for Arizona State Sun Devils football and a very exciting page to be opened. This is a big deal. And I truly hope that you guys appreciate just how massive this is for the team. We could be stepping into I don't want to overreact, but it's hard not to. I don't want to sit here and say we could be stepping into a golden age, but How can you not feel that way? The stars feel like they're aligning. I don't know. I'm certainly wearing my rose-colored glasses right now and just loving everything I see. Again, it's hard not to. I don't know if I would be feeling this way if it was Matt Rule. I feel I probably would, but that's also because, again, with those rose-colored glasses, that was about as big as it got for me was Matt Rule. But man, Dillingham, what a great move! What a great move! This is a big deal. This is a really big deal. I hope you guys grasp that and realize that this is massive for the program. You could not have made a better hire if you tried, short of a Nick Saban, right? Man, now you just got to start recruiting. What are the recruits available? Are there any recruits you can still get? 2023 recruiting. Is there anyone else who can still come in? I have no idea. Let's take a look at 2024. Pac 12. I don't know if ASU has any. We do not have any 2024 commits. 2023, I think we have like 5 or something like that. It's not good. 8. We have 8. Let me see those kids. Like I said, I think we only had. All right, so let's take a look. Corbin Hendricks, a 3-star receiver, will be coming in. He committed 2 weeks ago. Kyson Brown committed on the 31st of October. No star running back, 5'10", 165. So you have 3 guys on offense. You got quarterback Israel Carter, you got wide receiver Corbin Hendricks, and you got running back Kyson Brown, or Kyson Brown maybe. Everything else is going to be on defense. So you got to make sure that you hold on to the guys that you have. You can't lose Badger. You can't lose Sanders. You can't lose Conyers. Hopefully you can hold on to Chad Johnson Jr. and Cam Johnson and Messiah Swinson. Tevin White is going to be really important for you. Potentially Deontay Elliott as well. Super duper. The hype is real. This feels better than the Herm Edwards hiring. It's just how I feel being a fan since forever. The Herm hire just didn't move the marker for me. I liked the hire. I had to talk myself into it, though. I had to do a lot of talking myself into the whole he coached in the NFL, he can get the kids there, this, that, and the other. That was what I had to do a lot of. And with Dillingham, instant excitement. Add water. And I'm excited. So yeah, this and same with Todd Graham. Like Todd Graham was a good hire. It wasn't a move that truly got you jumping out of your seat. But this Kenny Dillingham hire does. This does get me very excited moving forward. So I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up this stream here in just a moment. I want to still look at the recruiting class a little bit just to kind of get a feel for everything. We'll definitely be getting lots of reinforcements on the defensive side of the ball, which is what we need. Nothing but 3 stars. Man, and then like Oregon. Oh, let's look at Oregon's commits. I want to see if they got any quarterbacks that are coming in. I'm sure they do. Dante Moore, 5-star quarterback. There you go. So who knows? Maybe Ty Thompson is on the way out. Tell me more about Dante Moore. 5-star quarterback, recruited by Kenny Dillingham. There's never been a better time. I'm just saying. Kenny Dillingham just left Oregon, Dante, and he's the one who recruited you. If you still want to play for Kenny Dillingham, there's an opportunity. Tell me more about this kid. Oh man, I'm getting myself in a rabbit hole right now, but I can't help it. This is my self-destructive. Oh, funny enough, he had actually responded today. He put something on Twitter. He just said, "Go be great, Dilly." Hashtag goat. So doesn't not necessarily confirming or denying that he'll be leaving. Let's see. There was like a little interview that they had yesterday with him where he said, "Yeah, I'm going to Oregon." So he should still go to Oregon. He should still go to Oregon. But I'm just saying, if you got recruited by Kenny Dillingham, you probably want to play for Kenny Dillingham. And he's not there anymore, so why would you go? I'm just stirring the pot here. That's all I'm putting out there. Oh man, could you imagine if we got a 5-star quarterback in here? That would just be bonkers. Just out of curiosity, I want more about this kid. Number 1 recruit in Michigan, number 2 quarterback in the country. Who was the kid ahead of him? Arch Manning was the kid ahead of him. I don't know, guys. I'm just saying. I'm going to start my conspiracy theories. Oh, man. Oh, this is exciting. I'm sure Kenny's going to call him too. Who knows? I don't know. There's so much to be excited about here, guys. I hope that you guys are excited as I am, and make sure that you guys are tuned into the podcast. I know the season's over. We've got so much to talk about moving forward. Just with Dillingham by himself, there is so much to talk about here. And obviously basketball has been really good too. They won again today. They're 6-1 on the year. So really good team, great defense. They shoot very well, distribute the ball, all that good stuff. There's lots of good things going on with the greatest college in the country. Certainly the best college in the state of Arizona. So if you guys haven't already, like and subscribe wherever you're getting your podcast. Turn on notifications. I was sick for the majority of November. So minor setbacks make for major comebacks. December is going to be our best month of the podcast. I promise you guys that. We're going to be fully active. I'm working on some stuff behind the scenes to get you as much ASU content as absolutely possible. So make sure that you guys are following along. But we're going to go ahead and wrap up this stream. You guys are the best. Thank you all so much. I love you all to pieces. I'm so excited about the future. Dilly dilly. And until next time, you keep it locked right here on Locked On Sun Devils.